Hello, my name is Grian, and we're back with another episode of Build School, this time tackling staircases. I didn't think people would be too interested in this one, but I actually got quite a lot of suggestions recommending it. Let's start with one of the more simple, designs of a staircase, and then we can build on that later. So, the typical block that you use is a staircase, surprise surprise, but one of the most important things to do when you're making a staircase is work out where your second story is in terms of how tall, because that completely dictates what the shape should be. Now I'm just using a simple T-shape, just so you understand for later. It's going to make a lot of sense. This looks very oversimplified, but you get the idea. One thing you can do with a staircase like this is make it sort of expand at the bottom, so that you have this elongated end where you can join up the staircases later. Now, you could also use half slab instead of a staircase, which is a viable option, but you're gonna need a lot of those to get anywhere tall. So those are a couple of very simple ideas, but the next one I think you're really going to like. You need to make 2 cylinders. Very easy if you've got weld edit, annoying if you don't. And then you need to use your half slab block and work all the way round in between those 2 cylinders, one larger and one smaller. Once you get to the top, you can then delete most of the cylinder, leaving only the balustrade left around the staircase itself. So you actually end up with a spiral staircase, or a sort of curved staircase if you only go up so high. Very handy if you're having a very nice looking curved house or something like that. You can also use this design, taking it and replicating it over and having a double staircase that meets in the middle, especially if you've got quite a shallow second story. But you could also use an arch underneath and have a decorative door leading to the back of the house. It's all ideas that you could take, and I thought you'd like that little one. I've actually shown that design before, but that was a long time ago. So now I want to just show you a few more ideas behind making a staircase. So I'm going to be doing a slightly different design here. So instead of a T-shape, I'm not quite sure what you would call this, but it would be kind of typical in a mansion scenario. And you create sort of 2 layers and have a transition zone in between. So you just use normal staircase, but you can see here that what really makes this stand out is that I'm detailing it and decorating the staircase. I'm not quite sure what possessed me to do it this way, but I thought it was a little bit abstract. You might even use this in a modern house or a modern mansion, whatever you want. And you can see how I've just used different colours, and more importantly using log to highlight and frame the entire thing. It's very important that when you do a staircase, you try and decorate it as best you can. I didn't actually put any blocks behind it on this one because I want to show you later. And another little tip that I want to say is very simple. Just put a different colour in between your staircase and you can have that detail without actually detailing. It's a nice little texture. So next I'm going to show you what not to do. I hate it when I see it. It really triggers me when I see this. Just half slabs up and up and up. It's really small. If you're going to do that and you want a spiral staircase, do it properly. You get half slab and work your way round a few blocks at a time. I know it's not as good on the space, but it looks 10 times nicer. It's so easy to do. Having that one block just makes it look so lazy. So, next up, we're going to use all of the things we've learned doing this build school and put them together in a fake house. So there's our walls, and I'm going to go ahead and start making a staircase in it. So the key to a good staircase is good planning. I find the middle, and then I start my staircase because I'm going to go for a T-shape. I need to make sure I start quite far back from the wall, work my way up, and sort of work out how much space I'm going to need in my head. If it doesn't look too good, you can always go back and change it. A simple T-shape is the one we used at the start, and we've used the texture that I suggested earlier with a block in the middle to sort of segment it up. Now, I use log to frame it all up, which is a really nice way of highlighting the certain parts of the build and all the corners. I then place a block behind the frame, and that sort of covers up all of the nastiness behind it and makes it look really clean. So finishing up a frame, you could, extend that backwards and have a balcony all the way along, but that's up to you. So you can now see that my build is suitable to replicate it over the other side, or in my case, I'm going to weld edit it. Now, you can see that the shape is pretty much there, but what I want to point out is this design would fit really well and dictate a really good arched ceiling. So I'm going to put an arch over the top so you can see how it really complements that. And I hope in your mind's eye you can sort of visualize an arched ceiling that extends all the way back, and you can see how that would look amazing in a really good looking house. So that's sort of what I wanted to show you. You can put all of these concepts together at the end of learning all of this build school to get a good looking staircase. Making a staircase is very easy if you just know some very simple techniques and shove them together. You can have a small spiral staircase like I showed you there. Please don't do the one block one. You can add different textures to create a nicer staircase instead of having the same coloured block. And you can create different shapes, and variety of shapes is recommended, and you can also detail them in various ways. You can also create a double staircase either side using curved. You would expect this in an ornate thing, or even just outside a mansion or a house to lead up to it. And you can create a double helixed staircase using the rather odd technique that I showed you earlier. And now we're back to the start where I showed you the very basics of doing a staircase. Very simple stuff, and that's kind of it. I hope I've covered what people were struggling with when they were dealing with a staircase, and that's it for this build school. Before I sign off, I just want to say a few things. First of all, big well done to everyone that did a hot air balloon. A lot of you came up with some fantastic ideas based off of the video. A lot of you didn't even have welded it, so I'll be showing the pictures on screen now. Also, I will be doing a separate video probably, but I do want to give you a pre-warning that for all of my UK-based fans, I will be attending Minevention this year on the 10th of January in Peterborough. So if you're about or near the area and want to see me, that's a really good opportunity. And the other thing that I want to say is, please hit me up with some more suggestions for videos. What do you guys struggle with when you're building? What's the type of house that you're looking to do? Anything like that, because I'm really interested. The staircase thing was something that I hadn't considered, and I saw a load of comments on it, so I decided to make it, and I really hope that I approach it in the way that would help you the most. Because again, I really want you to learn how to build, and not to copy everyone else. That's not how it's done. So, hit me up with your comments, and of course, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye!